It is the 18th of July 2020. Many thanks for staying with us on TV 47 tonight. These are some of the stories making headlines on our bulletin. Police robbed tear gas to disperse Aboni Halwale's meeting in Vihiga. Kenya records the highest ever COVID-19 cases in a single day as the political class continue to flout COVID-19 containment measures. In a special feature tonight, who wants Gikomba?
Tunafikiria ni kama hii nyumba iko hapa nyuma yangu, hiyo nafikiri ndio imeleta hii shida yote.
We tell you about the perennial fire incidences in Gikomba. Are they planned and who is behind them? A very warm welcome to you on our Saturday night news. My name is Mumbi Chege and our sign language interpreter tonight is Faith Cheptile. And on to our first story. Now, some religious places are yet to resume normalcy even after President Uhuru Kenyatta lifted the ban on religious activities. Most churches are yet to comply with the Ministry of Health's guidelines.
Preparations for resumption of religious activities are in top gear as churches are set to reopen tomorrow. However, the government's directive that the religious institutions accommodate only 100 worshippers at a time due to coronavirus have left many churches choosing to keep their doors shut as others opt for online services.
We've made a decision to continue with our online transmission of services. Of course, we are looking anxiously into the future that we will be able to open the church for all our members.
For members of the SDA Church that resumed services today, strict guidelines as issued by the Ministry of Health had to be observed. The services were short with a limited number of congregants at each session.
At least 4 to 5 hand washing areas so that we can have where to people may wash. And not only that, we had to arrange to have a thermogun so that all those who are coming, they may be, at least their temperature should be checked.
Health CS Putai Kagwe has, however, rubbished claims by some religious leaders on the protocols of reopening places of worship as they were recommended by their representatives at the Interfaith Council. A section of religious leaders have been decrying the measures recommended, saying they are impractical.
But if you look at the protocol that was released for church reopening, you will clearly see that the intention was not to open up the churches for worship.
The measures that you are talking about, the protocols, were developed by the religious committee itself. You know, we work together with them. We work together with our religious fraternity led by His Grace, Archbishop Muheria. We work together with his team to develop the protocols that you are talking about. So it is the least and most attractive level that we can be able to work with under the circumstances.
Eli Logova, TV 47, Nairobi.
And on to sad news. Charles Bukeko alias Papa Shirandula is dead. Shirandula is reported to have died at the current hospital this morning after a short illness. Our reporter Zainab Mohammed has the details.
It was a gloomy afternoon at the current hospital as news broke out of the sudden demise of Charles Bukeko, alias Papa Shirandula.
Papa Shirandula. Mimi kwa majina najulikana kama Wycliffe Wilson Willipofusi Shirandula totiatitua totinyungula. Welcome City Town original mwenyewe for example.
According to the family, Shirandula was taken to hospital by his wife Beatrice Akeka after he complained of difficulty in breathing.
Last night he didn't sleep well, so when the wife realized that he's not feeling well, she insisted on him, let's get back to hospital for further checkup.
However, the acting icon did not make it into the hospital as he is reported to have died on arrival at the emergency door.
So when they arrived here in the hospital, just at the emergency entry, Papa passed on while still in the car.
And despite there being reports that Papa died due to the deadly coronavirus, his family has vehemently denied those claims, pleading with Kenyans to respect the memories of the fallen actor and his family.
Diabetes, that one I can confirm that no, neither COVID, until it's confirmed from the postmortem that is it, is when I can also be able to attest to the same.
Friends, family and fellow actors convened together at the hospital, with many remembering him as a man dedicated to his family and his work.
Ahead of everything else, I've seen him cut short his work out there to come back to his family. I've spent some days with him doing a couple of things, some business here, and the one thing he'll always ask him for is where his kids are.
Mse anapenda reality. Yani sio kukupaka mafuta tu. Kama umemsinya, atakuambia tu facts, atakuambia tu no is no. Umefanya mbaya na hiyo tuwezi kubaliana na siwezi kukusupport na hiyo. So kama kitu ni poa anakusupport.
President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto are among the many Kenyans who sent their heartfelt condolences to the family. Royal Media Services Managing Director Washira Waruru remembering Bukeko as a passionate actor who brought a difference in the acting industry.
Wewe unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Praxidis.
Wewe. Hadi mimi sasa napendanga kukuchuana na watu wa nguvu kama wewe. Hadi praki china. China ni kama Mercedes Benz.
Charles has died at the age of 58, leaving behind a widow and 3 children. His body was moved to the Montezuma Funeral Home, awaiting his burial.
He is one of the most celebrated actors in Kenya, and he will be remembered for his efforts to nurture young talent in the acting industry. May his soul rest in peace. For TV47, I'm Zainab Mohammed.
A very huge blow to the family and the country as a whole. And in other sad news, popular Ohangla songbird Maureens Achieng, famously known as Lady Maureens, has been laid to rest in her rural home in Kopanga village, Migori County. Hundreds of her fans turned up to pay their last respects despite the strict guidelines by the Ministry of Health in containing COVID-19. Music lovers drawn from all walks of life made their way to the remote village of Kaponga in Migori County to witness the final journey of Lady Maureens. A consignment of security officers were dispatched to enforce security. Our fans attended the burial even without adhering to containment measures set by the Ministry of Health. Some walked as far as 30 kilometers to attend the burial. She was buried 5 kilometers from her father's home, as our culture dictates for any unmarried lady. Our fans terming her as a dedicated musician who was a huge Gor Mahia fan.
Mimi ni msichana wa Lady Maureens. Lady Maureens amenitoa mbali sana. Na mimi ningeomba wanamuziki wote, sana wanamuziki wasichana, tufanye kazi venye Lady Maureens alikuwa anafanya kazi na heshima, na alikuwa anafanya kazi na roho yake yote. Hiyo tu ndio jambo langu.
Naomba Mungu asindikishe malaika magpolo ili waingize Lady Maureens ndani ya mbinguni. Kwa sababu Maureens alikuwa shujaa. Hakuna mtu ameimba nyimbo ya God kama Maureens. So sisi kama Kogalo tutakuwa tumemiss Lady Maureens sana, na tunasema pole.
A section of musicians who attended the burial taking the opportunity to urge their colleagues to join financial societies to cushion them from financial challenges.
So kila msanii anafaa kujipanga, ha? Kila mtu ukishajipanga vizuri, upange maisha yako. Wakati unapata pesa yako, unapanga maisha yako. Hautakuwa unalaumu mtu wakati wa shida. Juu shida, kila mtu lazima apate shida. Lakini huwezi beba shida zako ukipelekea mtu mwingine.
Others have defended ODM leader Raila Odinga, who has recently been castigated for neglecting the musician despite having sung songs in his praise.
Baya sana, sisi kama wanamuziki tukiwa na shida, tuna blame Raila. Na mimi ningependelea wahimize wanamuziki wenzangu. Hakuna mwenye Raila amewahi muendea amuimbe. Sisi ndio tunamuimba. na tukiperform tunalipwa kwa sababu ya hiyo jina ya Raila. Kitu nzuri, mtu akishashindwa kujilinda, tusiblame Raila kila wakati. Raila pia kuna mahitaji yake. Sisi tunafanya kazi, tunapata pesa. Kama hatuwezi kuweka hazina ya bima ya hospitali, ni makosa yangu, si makosa ya Raila.
Lady Maureen will be remembered for her famous songs like Gorko Galo and Raila Baba. May her soul rest in peace. Now on to COVID numbers. The country has recorded the highest ever number of new cases in a single day after 688 cases were reported today. The total tally is now 250, away from the 13,000 mark, as Mwige William now reports.
The country has today registered 688 new cases of COVID-19, the highest ever since the onset of the pandemic. This now pushing the total tally to 12,750 after 238,164 tested samples so far. The number of counties with cases of the novel coronavirus has risen to 44 after Tana River County registering the first case today. In today's tally, Nairobi led in the tally, recording 537, Kiambu 59, Machakos 20, Mombasa 18, Kajiado 14, Kilifi 5, and Laikipia 5 cases. The CS has also noted that 457 positive cases have recovered from the pandemic, out of which 401 were under home-based, while 56 are from hospitals, bringing the total number of recoveries to 4,440. 3 people, however, succumbed to the virus, bringing the total number of patients who have succumbed to the virus to 225. Meanwhile, the government says that Cuban doctors who arrived in the county last evening will be paid like their Kenyan counterparts.
The Cuban doctors are being paid like our own doctors. We are not paying any more than we pay our own people, and I'd like that very clearly done. Unless somebody starts saying how we are paying foreigners more, we are not. We are not doing so. It is a small brigade of 20 doctors who have come, specialists in their own area, and their purpose really is just to come and exchange skills with our own doctors.
For TV47, I am Mwige William.
Now, political leaders across the country have been flouting COVID-19 containment measures in political gatherings. Some, like Kapsaret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi, never puts on a mask at any given political meeting. Joash Onsari with the details.
A section of the political class in the country have been flouting the Ministry of Health guidelines in flattening the COVID-19 curve. Political gatherings have been taking place in every corner of the country, despite the government banning political gatherings. Kapsaret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi is among the leaders who, other than attending political gatherings, he never wears a mask. At no single meeting has the legislator put on a mask, leave alone keeping a social distance. Even in the presence of the Deputy President, Sudi is never on a mask. Meanwhile, Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja spent the night at Kilimani Police Station for flouting the COVID-19 containment measures. Sakaja is reported to have been arrested alongside 3 others at a popular joint in Kilimani.
Trust me, come on. 1 minute, go. How are you known me for 10 years? These guys have known me to play the game.
However, he has denied any arrest, saying in a Twitter post that he has never been arrested and won't be. Sakaja was, however, released later this morning. The health CS Mutahi Kagwe is, however, blaming Kenyans for attending the political gatherings.
So I urge the public, do not fall trap to going to political gatherings. Just don't go. If you all refuse to go, then politicians will be standing there speaking to themselves. And within no time at all, nobody will go. Nobody will call a meeting. They call a meeting because they know you are foolish enough to go. So if you stop and you become wiser, it won't happen.
Political leaders from Western region have been having political gatherings in the region. Many of the attendees flouting measures of combating COVID-19. Joash Onsare, TV47, Nairobi.
Many thanks for staying with us on TV47 News tonight. Let's take a short break, but we'll be back with more. All right, welcome back. Now, the election of members of the opposition coalition to powerful House committees has been seen as a way of paving way for electoral reforms in the BBI process. However, the move has dismantled the opposition, especially in the House. Elizabeth Mutuko with the details.
The recent election of opposition lawmakers to lead powerful House committees has raised questions as to who will oversight the government in the House. Homa Bay woman Representative Gladys Wanga was elected to chair the Finance Committee, while her Busia woman Representative Florence Mutua will chair Education Committee, while Rarieda Member of Parliament Otiende Amolo was elected as Vice Chairman in Justice and Legal Affairs Committee.
What happened is that after the very divisive presidential elections and the danger of this country crumbling down, the president His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga decided that where we were going, we were not only in danger of disintegrating this country, but the issues that caused that disintegration would remain. And they decided to have a cooperation. We, as the ODM legislators in the National Assembly, are in cooperation with the government. We have not been swallowed into government. We are not part of the majority. We are still the minority.
Death of opposition coalition started after wrangles ensued within the member parties. ODM working with the ruling party Jubilee after the famous handshake, while Wiper and CCM recently penned down a working relationship with Jubilee. This leaving Ford Kenya and ANC in the cold.
There is nothing unique about the idea that the leadership of JLAC is shared. In the history of this country, whenever you want a process to run smoothly, you must always try and find a way of having the majority and the minority, or the government and the opposition, as the case may be. And I believe that is the anchorage of this committee right now.
ANC boss Musalia Mudavadi has been firming his position that is neither going to cooperate nor work with the ruling party Jubilee. The opposition and Jubilee cooperation comes amidst Jubilee party division, with lawmakers allied to Deputy President William Ruto calling on opposition to stick to its oversight mandate.
It would be unconstitutional, it would be illegal. It doesn't matter what argument you try to bring, you are in the minority, your role is cut out. And there is a ruling in the House by the Speaker, this particular Speaker in the 11th Parliament, that left only two committees, the PIC, Public Investment Committee, and the PAC, Public Accounts Committee. Why? Traditionally, everywhere where this system that we are operating on is.
Laikipia woman representative Catherine Waruguru, who recently ditched Ruto's camp, has also been awarded after she was elected the vice chairperson position in the Agriculture Committee. The recent move to have opposition and government work together is meant to ease the much anticipated law reforms. Some of the powerful committees expected to facilitate the process include the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, the Budget and Appropriations Committee, and Finance, amongst others. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47 Nairobi.
And Kakamega County Assembly has vehemently denied passing a budget to facilitate the purchase of land for mass graves for patients who succumbed to COVID-19. The MCAs are accusing Governor Wycliffe Oparanya for getting his priorities upside down in the fight against COVID-19. In the county a few days ago, Oparanya made public that the county had allotted 2 pieces of land meant for mass burial of COVID-19 victims.
Sisi kama bunge la Kakamega hatujaweza kutenga pesa ya kununua makaburi, viwanja za makaburi. Na hata hivyo, kama ni mswada utakuja bungeni, lazima tutahusisha wakazi wa Kakamega wakubali kwamba wapendwa wao watakapoaga waweze kuzikwa kwa makaburi ya jumla.
Hajasema hii ardhi amenunua iko wapi. Tumetoa pesa na tumeidhinisha pesa kutoka kwa assembly kununua ardhi, ndio. Lakini ardhi za kujenga mashule, madispensary, hakuna ardhi yote ambayo ilikuwa ya makaburi ya kuzika watu wa corona. Ametoa kwa mfuko gani hii pesa?
Sisi kama viongozi inafaa tuwe watu wa mwisho kukata tamaa. Na mheshimiwa governor kama chairman wa Council of Governors, yeye ndio governor wa kwanza Kenya mzima kukata tamaa. Hata Nairobi watu wameshikwa wengi na corona, lakini wajakata tamaa bado. Unajua kukata tamaa ni kutenga mahali ya maziko. So mheshimiwa Oparanya yeye amekata tamaa. Na ningekuwa waziri Mutahi Kagwe, vile governor wa Kakamega alitangaza hivyo, ningepanda ndege nikuje nione Kakamega imejiandaa aje.
Now, Kenya's biggest informal market, the Gikomba Market, could be on a path to extinction. The market has been marred by perennial fire outbreaks that are no longer deemed natural. Traders and residents are pointing fingers at the government in a race against time to avert further tragedies. But who is behind these annual Gikomba Fire Festivals? Are the fires a ploy to evict traders from the market? Why is the government unable to crack the whip? Our reporter David Mudoka has filed the following report in a bid to unravel the mystery of the market in the piece, Who Wants Gikomba?
Now behind me is arguably Kenya's largest informal market. This is Gikomba Market, a source of livelihood for millions of Kenyans either directly or indirectly. But Gikomba Market is currently on a path to decline following recent incidents of alleged arson and demolitions. But who are behind these perennial fire outbreaks? A walk down this lane reveals to you that and much more.
It is on this rubble that the Mitumba section in Gikomba Market stood until 26th last month on this mess of half-burnt clothes and stone bricks. Also stood Gorofani Estate, home to hundreds, a source of income and shelter this was. The deafening inactivity here, a stark contrast of the usual lively exchanges between sellers and customers in any normal day in this largest second-hand market in the country. But the chatter is long gone. Gone also are businesses and residences of hundreds of people here. Most of them who lived in the cycle of hand to mouth have been pushed to the streets to seek an alternative. Back to the streets is increasingly becoming the norm for those people who are practically a symbol of what the name Gikomba stands for. Those who were here when the market grew from a few stalls in a quarry to this robust source of livelihood to thousands will tell you that the name Gikomba was coined from the Swahili term kukomboa, meaning hiring. Sellers back then, without any capital, would hire goods, sell them at a profit, clear their debt, and pocket the profit. Hire, sell, pay debt, and hire again was a profitable routine. This market, however, is fast declining. Perennial fire outbreaks and demolitions have continued to prove costly in the past decade. Even traders have coined a term around them, the Gikomba Annual Fire Festival.
On this pool of mud stood stalls of second-hand clothes, popularly known as mitumba. But for the many people here who run those stalls, their stock has literally been washed down the drain following recent incidents of fire outbreaks and demolitions.
For many years, government officials, leaders, and the business people here have grappled to unsolve this mystery. Allegations have been rife on who are behind these fires. Some have attributed them to rows between traders, with others now convinced that the fires are acts of arsons by a section of people who want to push the marketers away and grab this piece of land that houses the market to pave way for construction of private properties. To them, there is nothing natural about these fires.
Ukiangalia jinsi ambavyo huo moto huo unasambaa ni kama kuna mkono wa mtu, na baadhi ya watu wengine unajua Gikomba ni kama eneo ambalo liko karibu na katikati ya nchi. Kuna baadhi ya watu wanaona kwamba wanaweza nyakua,
na hii moto ikichomeka kama kuna wale iko behind moto hiyo, sababu haipatikani mwenye kuchoma moto.
Tunafikiria ni kama hii nyumba iko hapa nyuma yangu. Hiyo nyumba ndio tunafikiria, tujui mpango wa hiyo nyumba ni gani. Hiyo nafikiri ndio imeleta hii shida yote. Tujui sasa, serikali ndio inajua.
The said property is this story building, which according to government officials is set to be occupied by the same traders upon completion. The traders are, however, suspecting foul play.
Tujaona ofisi yoyote wala tujaona mtu wote wa kuja kutuambia mwelekeo ile tutaelekea nayo. Tumekuwa tuko kwa giza, hatujui nini inaendelea. Wala tujapata kiongozi wote wa kuja kutueleza nini inaendelea.
As the reason, small scale sellers here have been forced to bear the brand over and over again. And recently, residents of Gorofani Estate that used to sit on the edges of this market were literally smoked out. Days later, their houses were demolished. What aroused suspicion was the manner in which the demolitions were carried out. The unforgiving excavators reduced their houses to rubble in the wee hours of the night.
Na kama ni kuhama, hatukatai kuhama, sababu sisi ni binadamu. Kwa nini wanatuchomea sisi mali yetu badala ya kusema sisi tuame? Hapo ndio naona hiyo maswali yangu iko, na ndio ningeomba wakubwa. Hata naomba sana sana president, kama alisema building ijengwe hapa, hii building inajengewa sisi ama inajengewa nani? Sababu saa hii soko imechomeka, tunapewa ka space hata huwezi kukaa, na hii building imeisha.
And with the government confessing to being unable to unravel those behind these fires, even the sellers here are afraid of mentioning those they suspect.
Wapo watu wanasema kwamba labda ni mavutano kati ya mfanyabiashara mmoja na mwingine.
Those we spoke to agreed to do that on condition we do not reveal their identities. Majority feel that the government knows more than it proclaims to do and is reluctant to crack the whip.
Kujua ukweli ya kitu ni kitu ya maana. Nilikuwa nategemea nijue kwa wakubwa yangu. Sababu before moto ichomeke, nikaona wengine walikuwa wanatembea hapa kwa soko. Na nikaenda kuuliza wakubwa yangu, ni watu gani wanatembea kwa soko wakipima soko. Wakanielezea watu wanajua measurement ya soko. Nikasema kama hii measurement ya soko na tuko hapa kwa hii muda yote, ni hii wakati ndio wanataka kujua measurement, ni heri mtu yaeleze ukweli, sababu ni kama kuna kitu itafanyika. Na kweli ikamaliza 3 weeks, moto ikachomeka.
The traders also feel that the government has not been forthcoming with the plans it has for Gikomba. To them, recent incidents are part of a plan to push them away. They believe grabbers are gradually making entry into the market, hiding behind the modern transformation veil. Government officials, local leaders and market representatives have been put on the spot over negligence. Traders and residents say they are sleeping in the cold while their representatives sleep on their jobs.
Kama wanatusikia na wana uwezo pia kuja watuangalie na watusaidie venye wanaweza. Jondo wenye kila kitu wamefanya hapa. Hatuna otherwise.
Hatujaona mtu yoyote akikuja kuaddress hapa atuwaambie mimi ni MP ya area, nimekuja kwa address nyinyi mkae hivi na hivi. Sasa hatujui tunaongozwa na nani na hatujui mwelekeo ni wapi. Sababu tukiuliza maneno ya ukweli, unawaambiwa wewe chunga mdomo yako.
Boniface Kavoy is a representative of traders along Kwale Road, Gikomba Market. He says ongoing demolitions to pave way for the construction of a perimeter wall that saw the Gorofani estate reduced to rubbles are actions that the residents were privy to.
Tulikuwa tumeshaomba perimeter wall. Na perimeter wall ilikuja tu kwa sababu sasa kulikuwa na mpango wa kujenga. Sio kawaida perimeter wall ianze kujengwa bila mpangilio wa kutenga pesa na contractor kupatikana, na hiyo ni fikra za watu, lakini ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba za perimeter wall ilikuwa ijengwe.
He adds it is not a decision that the government easily reached at, terming the decision a tough choice between a right and another right. He describes the demolitions as short-term pain for long-term gain.
Kuna uchungu wakati unaambiwa utoe kibanda yako ama inabomolewa na hujui mahali utaenda. Kuna uchungu. Na uchungu sasa baadhi ya wengine wanaanza ku experience. Lakini ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba hata kama kuna uchungu, pia kuna uchungu wa moto kuchoma mali za watu. Na ndipo sasa serikali inasema kwamba hiyo uchungu tumeze ili kusudi hizo barabara ziweze kupitika na wale watakuwa katika soko waweze kufanya nini? Kuchunga mali yao. Gari zinaweza kupita za kuzima moto kama kuna shida kama hiyo na moto inaweza kuzimika.
A statement that was reiterated by Nairobi Regional Commissioner Wilson Jega. Jega further called on traders to cooperate with the government as it seeks to modernize Gikomba and make it accessible.
There is already a market there under construction which will accommodate many people, over 2,000, and that's under the State Department for Housing. And we are in agreement that we need to fast track the completion of that market to accommodate the many traders who do not have space. And this one, we expect the market to be complete by the end of this month.
Jega further rubbished claims by traders that the government is behind the fires and illegal demolitions. He adds that the building traders claim to be the source of their woes is being put up for their own benefit. This as the government reinforces investigations to bring perpetrators to book.
There was that impression which was created that we want now the market to be grabbed. PS Interior made it very clear. Anybody who is thinking they will set it on fire to grab it is a no-go zone. That market will still remain for the traders.
But for the traders here, resilience is a virtue they have been forced to master. To them, success is how high they bounce after hitting rock bottom, albeit repeatedly.
Tunaweka imani sababu samba yako kama bado unaenda. Huwezi kuacha samba ati ngige ile kula. Unarudi tu kuangalia kama ile ngige ile wacha hapo kidogo. Waendelee kulima, lakini saa hii hatuna tegemeo sababu ni kama Gikomba inaenda. Hatuoni kama bado tutakaa hapa.
From the dust they clear the ashes to rebuild. Fearful of the fires. David Muthoka, TV47.
Who wants Gikomba? Quite a mystery. Thank you for that report, David Muthoka. Now we're going to go into the world of sports. And Harambee Stars head coach Francis Kimazi has revealed the criteria used in selection of players into the national team squad, while rubbishing claims of special preference to foreign-based players. The former Mathare United coach stated that current form is the key factor in securing a slot documents lapsed, according to Gor Mahia Electoral Board Secretary Kennedy Mbura. The 70-year-old is the only candidate who submitted his documents for election as chair, with a similar situation being experienced on the Secretary General's post. And Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has challenged his